What is poppin' YouTube? It's Maximus the Forex Trader, and in this video we're gonna cover a buy trend. But the thing is, I want you to pay close attention because buy trends are they're not very difficult, but they're very tricky. You get me? But we must study buy trends because it's very important to learn these moves. You get me? Downtrends are easy to trade, but uptrends they're a little tricky. You get me? We're gonna see a lot of support, trend lines, not retail traded trend lines. Talking about the white lines here. Um, and a buy trend is tricky, so you gotta pay close attention. I marked up the best possible trades that we can take. You get me? So this video is very important to watch a few times over and over because so that way you can see what you're waiting for. You get me? Because the other video that I have, the last video for sell trends, is easy. You got me? Like sell trends are easy to trade, but buy trends you gotta be a little careful. You got me? Because it could be a little tricky. We're gonna discuss a little bit about 50 to 100 locks, just a little bit. But the next video is gonna be strictly on 50 to 100 locks and basically box levels. You get me? Because it needs a video by itself and basically level 3. Because you know how we have 1, 2, 3, these 2 levels. Because basically a full market maker cycle is level 3 with and sometimes a peak. You get me? Like that extra little level from after level 3 peak, and then you know what I'm saying, they could reset and continue. But we're not talking about resets and nothing like that. Like we might talk about locks and stuff, you know what I'm saying, just real briefly, but we're gonna focus on just buy trends. Sometimes it could be a little easy, sometimes it could be a little hard to trade. But so I'm gonna just get straight to the point and get into level 1 basically. So what you need to take note of and learn is false M's. You get me? When the dealer's in a buy trend, he does a lot of fake M's. You get me? M patterns, the second leg fails, breaks, and goes up. So we're looking to our hard rate. We're coming off a reset level, this box right here, but we're not looking at that. So we're going into level 1 as a buy. So basically, we had a strong M formation, right? Oh wait, we had a strong. We're looking to all the way to the right. The dealer, well, first of all, we knew that he was gonna reset. Let's just say that we knew he was gonna reset. We're just looking for buys. So boom, that's the first leg, right? Right here, the doji. That's the second leg. But if you notice, the dealer, okay, because this is an M. You get me? The first wick and the second wick. You get me? These a big strong M. It might not look like it, but it is. But just keep watching the video. You're gonna start seeing this. If you notice, you got a big M, right? And the dealer not shifting. He's not shifting. He's throwing you doji, slow momentum. Then there's a good possibility that he's gonna go long. So you gotta wait for the next forward candle to open. He might stop hunt 5 to 15 pips. He might not. But that's what I'm saying, to not be scared to trade. You get me? Because if you're right, you're gonna be right 70% of the chance of the time if you study these patterns. And if you're wrong, you're only gonna scratch out like 7 to 12 pips. You get me? That's why I only say 12 pips. Because if you study the pattern and you watch these videos, you're gonna get way better with your entries. So let's say we went long, false M, double doji, slow momentum. Why is he shifting fast down low? Because he's gonna go long. You get me? And he's closing above the EMAs. You take that going long, boom, you got your 45 pips. That's how you would have won that trade. So the thing with buy trends, sometimes you're only gonna get one signal on a buy trend. Well, most of the time you're only gonna get one signal and max like 2. It's rare that you'll get 3 buy signals in one pair for a week. You got me? So moving on. Pay close attention. So all right, new week, the dealer opened up. He went long. We seen a pullback, doji. You get me? The dealer closing doji. This is actually this is actually the real entry. Sorry guys, this is the real entry. I gotta move that. So the new week we opened up. The dealer went long. We had a pullback to the downside because we're looking for stop hunt, low rise. We seen double doji, and then like a fake M formation. You get me? Dealer went long, false M, double doji, lots of dojis. At support, then you could take that the next candle. You get me? You can take that the next candle going long, and you would have won that trade for 45 pips. So that's how you would have traded that. And there's not really nothing else because we're at resistance. You get me? So you got to be careful. Sometimes you got to wait for the dealer to come back and give you a W, like a false, you know what I'm saying, false M or W. But that didn't happen, so we're like, all right. But that's it. There was only one trade for that week. You get me? So that's why I say to just keep rewatching this video once it's done, because it's gonna teach you a lot about false M's. You see, because you see how this M worked out. That's why you gotta wait for double doji, two doji for the second leg. It fails and then goes long. That's how you know it's gonna work out. You get me? So basically we kept waiting for a pullback. You get me? Waiting for a pullback. Let me mark this right here. You got the when you trade, you gotta mark the pullbacks. You get me? Support is basically because we're in a buy trend, so you gotta mark support. Where like the dealer, he shifted, right, but then he came back down and then he shifted again, the pullback, and then you mark the white line. You get me? As support, because basically when the dealer could come back around it and give you some type of information for you to go long. So basically, we seen that the dealer pulled back for short, but this is what we're looking for. We seen this one doji, right, with a strong wick candle. We seen another one that you want to put, most likely at this time, put a pending order, for a long, basically. And that's what we've been studying, pending orders on the wick candles, 2 or 3 hits to the high or low, depending on the overall market direction. In this case, for a buy, we're going to take it going long. And then look, your pending order would have been triggered and you would have took it going long. You would have won 45 pips. You get me? This right here is a W. This is not a false M, obviously. It's a W, W pattern. And you could have won that. So I want you to pay close attention to this type of trade because I see it happening on a buy trend a lot. So we've seen the dealer, right? All the candles are above all the EMAs. You get me? Above the 800, 250 and 50 EMA. We had a M formation. You see the M, right? Okay, boom. The dealer shifted for the M formation, but if you notice that for the false M formation, the dealer hits the brakes and give you 2 dojis above the EMA, the 50 EMA, then you can take that going long. Because if the shift candle was really valid, the sell shift candle, he would have shifted after this candle, after the second doji. You get me? So you could take it on this candle. You wait for your little 5. You take it on this candle right here. You wait for your 5 to 15 pip pullback. When I say pullback, I mean on the wick right here. With 5 pips, and then you take that going long, and that's how you would have won that trade. So basically, we had like an M formation, right? But since we know we're in a buy trend, we're looking for stop hunt, low rise. Okay, yeah, he shifted. It may look like the M is valid, but we noticed that the all the candles, they're all above the EMA. He gave you 2 dojis above the EMA, closing clean, not even touching the 50 EMA. Then you could take that going up. You get me? That's like a good calculated risk to go up, basically, and you would have won that trade. That's how you would have won that trade. Don't forget that you have to plot support, and a buy trend. You get me, the white trend line where the dealer he shifts down. He goes to support, to a certain support, and then shift. You get me? That's then you will put the white trend line there for future references. You get me? Um. So yeah, that's how you would trade that. Um. This candle most likely we would have lost this trade because remember how I told you, well, not told you, but in sell trends we look for inverted hammers. Well, this is a hammer, you get me, a hammer candle. What I would have done is I would have waited for the next 4 hour candle for 5 to 15 pips and take it going along, but we would have lost that trade. You get me? Like, yeah, they do work out, but like I said, the buy trends, on a buy trend we got to be very careful. That's why this video is very important to study. um Inverted hammer works more in a sell. Like, a sell trend is way easier. Not really much showing us for the rest of the week, so, and we're very careful with buy trends, so we just waited. You get me? For buy trends, you're really looking for false M formations, and good W's. You get me? Or 2-3 hits to the low, then rise. That's what we're kind of really looking for. Just skip this part, the next 3 minutes, because I have to use the bathroom real quick. So just skip it real quick if I take a little long. So just skip it. We will be back shortly, and don't mind the ocean background. I'm saying that's my yin yang, like I already explained. Helps me stay focused. I'll be back shortly. So just skip this part. All right, so we're back, and basically we didn't really see much for the rest of the week. Um, that's why I say. That's why I say. For pending orders, you want to wait for 2 or 3 hits to the low. You get me? 2 or 3 hits for the low. Don't forget, we're applying support after a shift, like a pullback, then shift, applying support. So we seen this hammer candle, but it's too early in the week. You want to take those later in the week after a shift. You get me? Those type of candles, especially on a buy trend, you got to be very careful. So we apply the support for future references. You get me? We didn't really see much. There wasn't really nothing too crazy. But once you see like those white you see these horizontal trend lines, our support being broken a lot, you got to be careful because especially around the 200 EMA, this is where a reset can happen. You get me? It's where a reset can happen. You got to wait for the dealer to shift back above the 250 and 50 EMA, basically. So basically, you can pause if you're a little confused on how to take 200, well, how to identify 200 false breakout, I'm saying like reset, then you could just skip you could skip trading for this week and just wait till next week until the dealer decides what he's gonna do. You got me? So at this point in time, I kind of would have stopped trading. Well, we're just saying it like that just in case we don't know what's going on, because I have to do a new video on 250 lock, but I'm gonna explain a little bit how this works. You gotta be careful because the dealer can break all your support. You get me? And start closing more low. You get me? Start closing more low, and he could break support of the box, and then reset again. You get me? But if you start seeing, we waited till next week until things calm down a little bit. If you start seeing the dealer start closing back above the 200 in a buy trend, then basically you'll know that you're in a strong buy trend, because if he was in a strong sell trend, he would have broke the retail trader trend line too. You see the red trend line right there, right here? He would have broke that. So basically it's a new week. We're still being careful about if the dealer closes above or below the 200. We've seen one wick candle right here, so we're like, all right, so maybe he kind of go back up and continue the buy trend. But you want to wait. If you see a second wick, a hit to the low with a hammer candle, and like I'm saying, like little dojis, you can take that going long because the momentum is slowing down for a sell. You got me? And the buy trend can continue up, so you could take that trade going up. You get me? So we had one wick and then a hammer candle, like a second wick, then double doji, slow momentum. Dealer don't want to shift low. We're below the 200, basically stop hunt low rise. Then you could take that going up. I actually have a green arrow there, but it's, you know what I'm saying, I can't, you see, I have a green arrow here because you could take that going up. You could take that going up. That's the basically that's a trade right there. And if you don't understand what I said, you can rewind the video at this basically at the last 3 or 4 minutes, and basically listen carefully to what I said. Listen carefully to what I said on the about the 200 reset, basically the possibility of a reset, how to identify if he's gonna reset or not. Well, basically I just told you he went below the 200 because we're looking for stop hunt low rise. This way in a buy trend. He broke below the 200, he wicked it. Wait for another confirmation, second wick, basically showing you that there's no money down there, and then you have double doji. You could take that going up on the next candle. You would have grabbed you 45 pips. You got me? So later on the week, we had a false information. Okay, the dealer shifted high. Now we're waiting for some type of pullback in a W formation or a false M. So we seen that we had this, because sometimes this second leg, you know what I'm saying, of the M, the false M can be bigger than the first one. You get me? So what you do is you see this M, the dealer shifts high and he pulls back a little bit, giving you this little small little doji that you can take on the next candle, because you know the buy trend is going to continue. So we had like a false M, I'm saying double, like 2-leg false M, dealer shift high, pull back, you take it going long. You get me? That's how you take a false M, basically, and that's how you would trade that. So in this week, the next week, we're looking at the hard rate. The dealer gave you an M formation, right? But we're noticing that he did shift. It wasn't a false M. You get me? So don't forget that to apply your support after a shift. You get me? All the way to the hard right. Don't matter if he goes there or not. Just make sure you do that. That's why that's there for future references. Um, that's how you plot support on a buy trend after a pullback and then a strong shift, and you plot your support. So the dealer came back around a previous support, but it's not really showing you anything, especially after a M formation that completed, basically, in a way. You just want to wait for him to show you his hand more, so you just wait. You just wait. Sorry, guys. So you see him stop hunt low. You want to see him you see him stop hunt low, right? And then you're getting so much wicks. You're getting like 1, 2, 3 hits to the low. And then we're looking, basically this is a false M formation. This area right here is a false M. Then you get a second doji, and basically the dealer's not shifting low. Several confirmations. So the dealer shifted high, pulled back, 1 hit, 2 hit to support, 3 hit, and it's looking like a false M, basically. Second leg double doji false M formation. Then you take it going long on the next candle. Like, obviously, yeah, you gotta wait for 5 to 15 pip pullback. I'm saying, then you take it going long, and you would have grabbed your 45 pips right there off rip. But don't forget, you gotta plot your support where the dealer came back, where the dealer shifted low, then rise. That's support right there. You get me? You gotta chart that, your horizontal trend line, and that's how you do that. Yeah, so the dealer opened up. Is this like a box level? Oh yeah, it's a box level. Just pay close attention, because this video you gotta rewatch it, keep rewatching it to really learn false M formations and double dojis on the buy trend, because the buy trend is a little tricky. You got me? It's not hard, it's not rocket science, but it can be a little tricky. So we've seen the dealer pull back for a sell. He kind of broke all our support, so you got to be very careful. You want to wait for him to shift back up. You get me? So basically he shifted back up, pulled back. Now notice how we have this M formation, right? But he didn't shift low. He gave you a double doji, second leg, false M. You could take that going long. You get me? You could take this candle going long. You would have won that. Basically. So once again, the dealer opened up. He's breaking our support, so we're not really into trading right now. If the dealer's breaking support a lot, you got to be careful. You got to wait for him to do his move. You got me? He comes back up, you know what I'm saying? And we're at the box level of resistance. You got to be careful. You want to wait a little bit to see something better. He pulled back again. We're starting to see a M formation. But remember, the M formations can break on a buy trend. You want to see what you're looking for is a false M, double doji second leg, like we're seeing here. Then you take it going long right here. And this false M formation can happen a lot. You got me? Happen right here. The dealer shifted up. False M, as you can see, double doji. Then you take it going up. Boom. Usually I don't take trades too close to each other, but if you see this, if you see the pattern, take it. I'm saying, because the dealer's just giving you money. You got me? So don't forget to plot your support. That's very important. Right here, where the dealer shifted, he came back to he pulled back, didn't shift there. Then you put in your support. You got me? You put in your trend line right there. You stretch it to the right for next week, because the dealer can come back around that same area and retest. That's why we do that. So once the deal, all right, it's a new week. The dealer, wait, let me see, what kind of trade is this? Okay, yeah. So basically, it's a new week now. It's a new week. The dealer's coming back of support. We seen a wick candle. Now you can put a pending order. You got me? If you see a second wick candle, you wait for him to come back, like a second hit right here to support with wick. Then you can put a pending order. and it triggered. You got me? It triggered, and you would have grabbed your 45 pips. That's how you would have grabbed your 45 pips. Now later in the week, the dealer, don't forget to plot your support where the dealer pulled back from and shifted, because we're in a buy trend basically. So later in the week, the dealer, he shifted. I'm saying we won our trade. He pulled back. You plot your support. Now be careful, because basically it could be a false M formation. You get me? You see how the dealer kind of wants to give you that false M, but he keeps closing higher from support. Then you could take that on the next trade. You get me? It's a little tough to trade, but you know what? Risk equals reward. With a tight stop loss, you'll be all right. You get me? You'll be all right, because you can't be scared to trade. You get me? People are scared to trade. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why you got to study first, so that way you could take your trades with confidence. You get me? And we already going into level 2, so we know we're in a strong buy trend. So yeah, so the dealer opened up new week. We're seeing him hit support, but he's closing above. It's not really giving us no W, you know what I'm saying, no false M yet. So we seen him pull back again. Then he shifted. Then he gives us a false M. You get me? You see this M right here? We're looking at the hard rate. Remember, we'll look at the hard rate. The dealer shifted back above. And you see this M with a second leg kind of failed. Then you take it going long. You get me? You take it going long right here, because he didn't give you that second leg. He closed back high above, and then you take it going long. You would have won that. That's how you would have won that. You see how sometimes there's only one trade only prepare. So that can happen. This right here's a trade, but I'm not gonna teach you guys that, because it's kind of like a little difficult right now to learn that. I just want you guys to learn the basics. But don't forget to plot your support. You get me? Because the reason why I keep saying that is because I already have it charted. But you gotta do that after, because we're in a buy trend. Look at stop hunt, low rise. Dealer shifted, pull back, shifted again. Then you plot your support. You get me? It's like stairs basically. So we waited. We didn't see nothing really too good. And I'm saying that something nameable. So basically, the dealer opened up new week. Dealer opened up new week. Remember that we are also looking for W patterns. You get me? W patterns. So the dealer went low. You know what I'm saying? Went near previous support. Didn't really bother touching it. So, boom. We saw the first leg of the W complete. The second leg, W complete. Then we saw the doji. Because you could take it on here, but if you want to be safe on a buy trend. So, the dealer's not shifting low, because it also looks like a false M too. So, the dealer shifted low, shifted up, shifted low. He's not going near support. So then you know you're in a buy trend. And you wait for the W to complete, then you take it on the next candle. You get me? And this right here belongs right there. And you would have won for your 40. You would have won your 45 pips. Don't forget to stretch your support over to the right. Over to the right. Because the dealer could come back over there at another time. You get me? So we kept looking, but we're not really seeing anything too crazy. Like, yeah, this could have been a false M, but it looks too weird, because we have so much shift candles and there's no shift, so we're just waiting. You got me? We had like a little strong wick candle, so you wait to see if he wicks that again. He didn't, so we're like, it's all right. We're just waiting. Like, yeah, he wicked it, but it's already too late at the end of the week. You got me? So this is why I tell you to mark support or resistance depending on the trend, basically, depending on the trend. Because look, the dealer can come back to the same area again. So this week is a new week. You know what I'm saying? The dealer opened. He stopped hunt low. Stop hunt low. Look, we got a W pattern. You can take that. You can take that going long for the next candle, because if he was really short, he would have give you a long shift candle short. He would have give you a long shift candle short. So you take that the next candle. So once again, the dealer opened up. He's going to previous support at a previous time. We're seeing lots of wick at the support trend line. Then double doji, second leg W. You take that going long. You got me? You take that going long. It might not have one right away, but that's why we're holding trades and stuff. You got me? We're holding trades. We got a hammer candle. We got a hammer candle right here. So that's a good sign of a buy, of a strong buy coming up. Basically, buy trend. Then you move your support to the side. You got me? You move your support to the side. At this point, you got to be careful, because if you're noticing the dealer, he's not closing above resistance, and that's what you want to see. Because since we're in the buy trend, he should complete level 3. You got me? He should complete level 3, but we're not seeing that. So new week, we're seeing a false M. We're seeing a false M, but we kind of waited to see if the M, the second leg double doji, closes above higher, because usually they stack up from each other. You get me? Overstand that. So that's why it's kind of good to learn how a real false M formation double doji looks like. So we're not really seeing anything too crazy. You got me? Yeah, it's nothing really looking too good to trade. Like, this is a trade right here, but I'm not gonna teach that because it's a little difficult at first. So we're just gonna keep a little bit simple. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, false M's, double doji, and W's. But if you notice, always remember to take note when the dealer goes to the 200. You got me? Because that can be crucial points where he could reset at. You got me? Notice how he closes. He don't reset. He don't close it lower. He bosses off retail trader trend line, the red trend line, and he closes higher. Pin it. I'm gonna be discussing these type of trades, but not right now, because that needs a separate own video. So basically, we kind of skipping this area for now. Don't worry about this area, because that's a 250 EMA area. So basically around this right here is kind of a trade, but it's kind of hard to trade. But this is why you gotta keep rewatching this video, so that way you can know. So that way you can know when you see these type of patterns, you'll know when to take it and when not to take it. So the dealer, he rose, right? He gave you a doji candle above the 50 EMA, and you gotta take note that the dealer didn't pass the 200, so we know we're in a strong buy trend. So if you see him not giving you like that second leg for a sell, and we know we're in a buy, you can wait for a little pullback and take it long. It's a little tricky, don't get me wrong, but if you keep watching it, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So this trade coming up is easier. So the dealer went long, right? He pulled back. You see him touching support. We got a strong M, but if you notice the dealer not shifting low, especially for after this candle, you can take the trade going long again. You got me? And take it on that candle. So the dealer shifted up, pulled back, false M. He's not breaking support. Then you take it going long. You got me? Taking going long, and that's how you would have won that trade. That's how you would have won that trade. So I'm not gonna explain this trade because it's a little difficult to take, but we're gonna skip that week because it wasn't really a good week. You see, this is why you gotta keep. This video is one of the most important ones I did, because buy trends tricky. But don't worry, I'm not saying to be scared of the dealer. Don't be scared of the dealer. If you just wait for certain patterns and just take it, then you're gonna be all right. You got me? Just make sure you got a tight stop loss. Know what I'm saying? You're gonna be all right because you can't be scared of the dealer. So we're breaking into a new level. I'm saying level 3. The dealer shifted high. The dealer shifted high, right? But we're noticing this false M. You get me? This M, the dealer not shifting. We're like, okay, we have an M, but why isn't he shifting? You get me? He went high, pulled back, and we seen this M, but it's not shifting. Then you wait for the next pullback, and you take that going long. It might not have won right away, but it would have won at a later time. You get me? And that's what basically could have happened, especially after all these wick candles. You see all these wick candles, you want to stay in there, especially the hammer. That's it, lights out. You're gonna get paid, and you got paid. You get me? So later in the week, the dealer, he shifted. You know what I'm saying? We wait for some type of pullback. We seen this is right here is an M formation. You get me? It's kind of a little bit sloppy, but it's an M formation. So basically, the first leg, I'm saying the little pullback, then the second leg, double doji. You see these two dojis all above the 50 EMA? Then you could take that going long. Boom. That's how you would have won that. You get me? That's how you would have won that. So the thing I'm going to teach you in the next video is that level 3 can be extended just a little bit more. You get me? But don't worry about that. Just worry about false M's and double doji false M's and a W. So new week. Oh wait, no, it was not the. Okay, yeah, new week. The dealer shifted high right away for the beginning of the week. We seeing this M formation, but these M formations, false M formations, are good. You get me? If the first leg is big and then the next 3 candles are just dojis, you can take that. You get me? You can take that going long, and you would have won that trade. You get me? But we're at level 3 now. We're looking for sells, so you got to be careful. So basically, that's how you. This is one. This is just a few examples of buy trends. I'm gonna keep covering buy trends because they can happen just a little bit different in other pairs. But this, ideally, you gotta just keep watching this video so that way you can learn false M, double dojis, formations. That you take that going long, and W patterns, basically. And that's basically pretty much it for buy trends. But don't forget, for buy trends, you gotta do support. You got me. You gotta do your horizontal support where the dealer have pulled back and then shifted from. You gotta push that all the way to the right. So keep watching the video, and you're gonna start learning what I see. You got me. You're gonna start learning what I see. I'm keeping it simple.